Hello friends. So in this video we will understand the basic structure of the Indian Constitution. First of all, we will know what is the basic structure. Then we will look into the judicial journey of it and conclude about the spirit of the Constitution. In this, we will mainly focus on the amendability of the Constitution and its various case laws. Constitution is the patriarch of all other statute. It highlights democratic, republic, sovereign, socialist and secular spirit of the people. The doctrine of basic structure is a judge-made theory and recognized by the Indian judiciary. The structure of the constitution of our country is taken from various other constitutions across the globe. The doctrine of basic structure is evolved by the judges of the Supreme Court of India by its numerous landmark judgments over many years since independence. This is very essential to maintain the spirit of the constitutional document and to conserve and protect and maintain the concept of rule of law. Article 368 of the Indian Constitution talks about amendability of it, and every provision of the Constitution can be amended provided in the result of foundation and structure of the Constitution remains the same. Thus, the basic structure of the Indian Constitution cannot be amended. As far as the will of the people is concerned, the fundamental rights will not be infringed. No one will be discriminated politically, socially, economically, or religiously. The Constitution drafters gave the power to amend the Constitution in the hands of the Parliament. The main purpose was that the Parliament will change it as to cope up with the changing needs and demands of we the people. The Parliament exercising its constitutional power under Article 368 of the Indian Constitution can amend any of the provisions of the Constitution, and this power empowers the body to amend even Article 368. It explains that the doctrine of basic structure is a judge-made doctrine to put a limitation on the amending powers of the Parliament so that the basic structure of the basic law of the land cannot be amended in exercise of its constituent power under the Constitution. The word basic structure is not mentioned in the Constitution. The phrase basic structure was introduced for the first time by M.K. Nambiar and other counsels while arguing for the petitioners in the famous Golaknath case, which we will discuss in the later video. But it was also in 1973 that this was accepted in the court of law. So, let's move to the various amendments, judicial decisions, and their details. These are the various case laws which I'll be dealing in the further video. The judicial journey and development of the basic structure has been covered from Shankari Prasad to Vaman Rao. First of all, we will discuss Shankari Prasad versus Union of India 1951. In this case, the first Constitutional Amendment Act of 1951 curtailing the right to property guaranteed by Article 31 was challenged. The basic argument was that Article 13 prohibits the enactment of a law abrogating the fundamental rights. It was said that Article 13 prohibits any law which is against the fundamental rights. Also, the law under this also covers the amendability provision under Article 368. Basically, there was a conflict between Article 368 and Article 313, Article 13 of the Indian Constitution. Supreme Court held that the limited scope of Article 13 and said that law under the Article 13 covers rules and regulations made in exercise of legislative powers and not amendments in the Constitution made under Article 368. The next case under this is the Sajjan Singh case versus State of Rajasthan 1965. For the next 13 years following Shankari Prasad, there was no questions regarding amendability of the fundamental rights in the Constitution. In the case of Sajjan Singh versus State of Rajasthan, the validity of the Constitution 17th Amendment Act 1964 was called in question. This amendment again adversely affected the right to property. Views of Justice Mudholkar was taken into consideration and was given much wider view. His one of the basic arguments was that every constitution has certain fundamental features which cannot be altered. Next case is the IC Golaknath versus State of Punjab 1967. In this case, whether fundamental rights can be taken away by any act of parliament under Article 368 was raised. Again, the constitutional validity of the 17th Constitutional Amendment was challenged vigorously. 11 judges gave judgment and delivered the judgment in the ratio of 6:5. Actually, the views of the majority was that they feared from the fact that since 1951, many amendments has taken place in Part 3. It might bring a time when the fundamental right will totally erode and a totalitarian government will be formed. So, the majority sought to make the fundamental rights as inviolable by the constitutional amendment. Therefore, the 25th Constitutional Amendment Act happened. Thus, it was held that no authority functioning under the Constitution, including the Parliament, can abrogate any fundamental rights guaranteed in Part 3 of the Constitution under Article 368. Next case is the famous Keshwananda Bharati case versus State of Kerala 1973. The most famous case law is the Keshwananda Bharati, which every law student knows from day one. So let's understand what is basically in this and what was the final judgment. In this case, the 24th and the 25th Constitutional Amendment Act was challenged. It contains the greatest bench of judges, that is 13. The views of the Justice Hegde and Mukherjee was taken into consideration, which was as follows. The views expressed in Shankari Prasad and Sajjan Singh were endorsed, and the judgment in IC Golaknath that gave power to amend the constitution was not to be found in Article 368 was overruled. There is a difference between ordinary law and a constitutional law. Also, it was held that the constitution maker in Article 13 has not used law including constitutional law. It was finally held that unlimited amending power is not granted to the Parliament under Article 368. It has limitations. It can't destroy the basic structure of the Constitution. The basic structure is non-amendable. Let's come to the next case, which is Indira Gandhi versus Raj Narayan, 1975. In this case, the constitutional validity of the 39th Constitutional Amendment Act, Clause 4, was challenged. Let's know what is Clause 4 of the 39th Constitutional Amendment Act. First, to withdraw the election of the Prime Minister and few other union officials from the scope of the ordinary judicial process. Second, to void the High Court decision declaring Indira Gandhi's election to the Lok Sabha as void. And the last, to exclude the Supreme Court's jurisdiction to any appeal. Actually, the clause 4 of 39th constitutional amendment was challenged because it destroyed the basic feature of the constitution. Clause 1 destroyed the judicial process. Clause 2 destroyed not merely High Court's judgment but also the election process and the rules also. Therefore, it was held that judicial review is not a basic structure. Now let's move on to know what was 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. The central government did not accept the judgment given in Indira Gandhi case and thus did not accept the 39th Constitutional Amendment. The amendment sought to ensure that a constitutional amendment should not be challenged in any court on any ground. Thus, two new clauses were added to the Constitution. Next is the Minerva Mills case, 1980. The scope and the extent of the doctrine of basic structure was considered by the Supreme Court. Here, the constitutional validity of Article 368 Clause 4 and 368 Clause 5 was challenged, which was introduced by Section 55 of the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. In this case, it was held that Article 368 Clause 4 to be beyond the amending power of the Parliament and void because it removes all limitations on the power of the Parliament. The final case which we will discuss here is the Vaman Rao versus Union of India 1981. In this case, Article 31A, 31B and 31C was challenged on the grounds that it destroys the basic feature of the Indian Constitution. It was held that under Article 368, the Parliament can't amend the Constitution as to destroy its basic feature. The point was again considered and applied in the case. Here, First and Fourth Constitutional Amendment Act was held valid and did not affect any basic feature of the Constitution. We have come to the end of the video and let's know, over the years, the Supreme Court has been applying the doctrine of basic feature to invalidate ordinary legislations, sometimes directly and other times tangentially. In Indira Sawhney versus Union of India, Kerala State Backward Classes 1995 Act on Creamy Layer was held to be violation of the basic structure of the Constitution. In L. Chandrakumar versus Union of India, the Supreme Court held that Clause 2D of Article 323A and Clause 3D of Article 323B to the extent they exclude the jurisdiction of the High Courts and Supreme Courts under Articles 226 and Article 227 of the Constitution, which were held as unconstitutional. People retaliated not only against the non-essential parts of the Constitution, but against its essential ones also, if they become an obstacle in their progress. The main conclusion was that if amendments helped the Constitution to survive, it must include changes in the allegedly essential part of the Constitution. Wherever one may place their allegiance, it cannot be denied that doctrine of basic structure is essential for maintaining the spirit of constitutionalism in India, as it has been proved in the Indira Gandhi era when this doctrine was the only shield standing between an all-powerful parliament and the people, owing to the reckless, excessive usage of the power given by Article 368 of the Indian Constitution. Hope you liked the video. Thank you.